The Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/shark. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Movies, Films, and Flicks. I'm your host, John Losvov. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Mark Hoffmeyer.
Hi.
And John Lemongood.
Joining you live from the sleeveless temple of Kurt Russell.
A.K.A. John's apartment.
That place sounds amazing.
Honestly, no. There's I have Lemongood on a Skype call right now, and behind him is a huge cutout standee of Kurt Russell from Big Trouble in Little China. It's amazing.
Now, the first time we saw it really freaked me out because the Skype camera bounces back and forth, and we were just talking about that new horror film, and the camera cut over to John with this big Kurt Russell behind him, and I freaked out. I thought John was a goner.
It's like, I don't know. I was excited because I really thought Kurt Russell was at Lemongood's apartment. I'm like, dude, you hang out with Kurt Russell?
The spirit of Kurt Russell helps guide me safely through each episode, so that's why you feel like he's all around.
It's basically a story of my life.
What do you got for us today, John?
Actually, I was about to ask you that. Apparently, you've been fielding some questions on the Twitters about...
That's true. I've been reaching out to our fans. I got about 7,000 Twitter followers, and I asked them what they wanted to know. And I asked them for their meta-geeky, their weird, their funny questions, their critical questions. And they gave me a lot, and we'll just go through them episode after episode, and Mark will end up with some questions too. But so to start, our first true Twitter listener question. This comes from @WastedTheShow. Who is better at selling knives, Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees?
I mean, I got to go with Michael Myers because when I think of Jason, I think machete. But when I think of Michael Myers, I think of the opening shot in Halloween where it's his POV and he's walking into his sister's room, and for some reason the camera pans down at the knife in little teenager Michael Myers' hand and then back at his sister. So like he just worked wonders with that knife. You picture him with that knife.
It's just blatant product placement.
He did a really good job in those Wusthof commercials where he was just slicing and dicing. So I got to go with Michael Myers.
See, I think I really hate the fact that they only gave us two choices because they both pale in comparison to the ShamWow guy. He could sell dirt to a camel. I don't know.
Do you guys just want to throw a ShamWow into a pool just to see if it just sucks the whole thing up?
It probably would. I'm surprised that's not a ShamWow commercial yet. No, if I had to pick between those two, though, I'd probably go with Michael Myers. The reason why is because every time you see Michael Myers pull out the knife, it's always so shiny and clean looking. You know, I bet you he takes care of it, actually. You know, because I guess stabbing people and killing people with that knife gets pretty messy, but, you know, he keeps it clean. And that's the mark of a good knife salesman, right?
So are you saying that he goes home with, like, that leather strap and he just wipes it off and oils it? And, like, does he have a sheath that he walks around?
He cleans it with ShamWow.
Does Michael Myers have a sheath that he puts his knife in?
He has a ShamWow. That's how he keeps it clean.
You know what happened is, like, if you, like, order right now, you get the whetstone and one extra knife free.
Oh, and you also get the slap chop for free.
You know, I gotta say, but neither of these guys ever die. So they're both like 24/7 perpetual salesmen. So, but I gotta kind of go the same route. I gotta go Michael Myers, even though I like Jason more for the movies. I mean, Michael Myers is actually walking around with like a proper kitchen knife. Yeah. Jason, you're not gonna sell that to a homemaker or some dude who likes steak. You know, his machetes and shit. That's not gonna work.
It's always kind of.
I got to handle the Mike Myers.
Yeah, Jason's machete is always kind of stained and rusty looking and just really dirty.
You know what else? So Jason has that filthy mask. He always looks like some kid who didn't wash up before dinner, a big one. But then Michael Myers comes in, and, the whole time he's giving his sales pitch, the little old lady at the other side of the table is saying, "Don't you look familiar?"
Yeah.
You look a little bit like that nice Jewish boy, that Bill Shatner.
My son had a mask just like that one. So 3-0, 3-0 for Michael Myers.
Yeah, actually, that was a good one. Well, thank you at Wasted the Show for that one. Do we have time for another listener question right here in our opening, guys?
Oh yeah, does a one-legged duck swim in a circle?
I've never severed a duck's leg to check.
Well, Michael Myers did in one of his commercials, and then he put it in some water, and it swam in a circle.
Just to demonstrate that the knife worked well.
Some people thought it was cruel, but then no one wanted to say that to Michael Myers.
Instead of showing you the blade, though, when you're trying to say how great the blade is, look at what a perfect circle that duck swims in. All right. Second question comes from @DemonScribblers, also from Twitter. Their question is, if Freddy appears in Nightmares, who appears in his?
John Wick.
John Wick. So did Freddy kill a puppy before he turned into a burned demon of vengeance?
Oh, of course that's how we start. That's how all those guys start. They start with the lizards, then they work their way up to the turtles, and then they go to the puppies.
So John Wick, we know that John Wick had a wife, right? And they talk about the dog, but what they don't tell you is that John Wick, way back before the movie came out, he had a child. That child was sadly murdered by a child killer, and then John Wick led the charge to burn the guy to death, and that's how we got Freddy.
Ooh. Wow, that's deep.
I thought you were going to say that he just burst into the dream world, totally surprised Freddy when he was taking a nap and just killed him. Imagine Freddy chilling in like a recliner watching Three's Company, and John Wick kicks the door open and just lights him up like, what?
Ooh? All right. So this question is actually a really good excuse to bring up my idea of an awesome crossover movie. A crossover between Nightmare on Elm Street and Inception.
And Inception?
Yeah. I always thought it'd be cool to have a movie where Leonardo DiCaprio goes to, invade the dreams of like a guy who's also being haunted by Freddy Krueger in order to get to the so-called, secret buried within the guy. He has to fight Freddy Krueger.
So did Freddy have a little part in that South Park Inception episode?
Oh, did he? I haven't seen South Park.
I feel like Freddy had a little part in that.
I don't know. I've never seen.
I'm seeing this in my head right now. I'm thinking Tom Hardy in a cardigan, wrestling with Freddy.
Yeah,
like I'm thinking.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is like running down a spinning hallway.
As unreasonably talented of a fighter as Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in his vest suit fighting like 8 guys in that hotel, I don't know how he'd fare against Freddy. Like, would he just manhandle Freddy, or would Freddy just chop him up?
Now, is he in a spinning room, or is it just a room?
Like when they're flying around, I don't know. Like, and can Freddy handle that? It's not Freddy's realm, is it? Like, is Freddy flying?
Well, then, if it's just Freddy in another realm without his powers, Freddy's a wimp. Like, I think he's just a bully. Like, in his dreams, he does the long arms, blah, blah, blah. But when he squares off on somebody on human terms, like in the first one, when he got into that woman's home, she hit him in the nuts with a sledgehammer.
And a light bulb bomb, light bulb bomb that would basically just piss off a big guy like us. Like that like almost debilitated him.
So he was pretty much like, I remember watching that movie as a kid. I'm like, this guy's a wimp. I hate him. So I'm thinking JGL in his vest will lay the smackdown on Freddy. I mean, those knives, if he's in a floating room, it'll get stuck in the wall. So he's sitting there stuck in the wall. JGL's just working the body. He puts Freddy's sweater over his head and knocks him out like a hockey player.
Like a hockey game.
I'm going JGL and John Wick.
Tell me you wouldn't see that movie.
I would crowdfund that movie. I'd actually pony up and pay money.
It would, how Broken Lizard, they just funded their movie in 24 hours.
Yeah,
that movie would make $5 million in 5 minutes. Like, hey guys, the Kickstarter started for Freddy vs. Leo. Oh wait, we got 10 million already.
Oh man!
Now, are they going to let them go the extra 30 days on that Kickstarter to accrue more funds, or are they stuck with their goal?
I think so, because Veronica Mars went further than their goal.
No,
that went to like 5.7, right?
Yeah, and they wanted 3, I think.
On their pitch video, they said they want at least $2 million. They said the more money we get, the more awesome stuff we can put in the movie, like bigger stunts, bigger explosions. Even though you don't really need that for a Super Troopers movie, but still.
Yeah. My problem is I hope they're not too self-aware, because the first one worked because it had personality and it was just they weren't that big of stars yet. They weren't pandering to anything. But I hope that this one isn't just like a walk-off home run where they run around the bases really slow, kind of like waving their hands around, doing the greatest hits.
You basically just described us, like, and why we work, why they work the first time. I immediately thought of us. But one day we'll be super famous, like be wearing like a mink coat, and I'll have like a purple pimp hat and a feather.
Oh, that perfect. Actually, I have one of those guys. I have. When we get to my walking thing here in a little bit, I have a great scene for you.
Actually,
so what is this walking thing? What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
John, do you want to? Oh, so all right, guys. When you think about cinema and you compare running and walking, you always think about running. You just think about Running Man, all these running movies, Running Scared. I know there's a Walk in the Clouds, blah, 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 Walk to Remember. But the most famous scenes are running. People do Tom Cruise running. We talked, Unbroken just came out. He was an Olympic runner. McFarlane USA was about long-distance runners. We had Forrest Gump. We had Chariots of Fire, the most famous running scene ever. Rocky montages. I mean, every Rocky montage, he's always running. So I watched this movie, The Wild Bunch, which I think is... Oh, man, I love The Wild Bunch. I watched it again. It just blows my mind. Sam Peckinpah. But there's a scene in The Wild Bunch at the end when they're walking to their certain death, and this guy goes, "Let's go." And it's the four of them walking, really cool, with their guns in different poses. Ernest Borgnine has this smile on his face, and it's just the most badass walking moment that Quentin Tarantino copied from Reservoir Dogs. Then the Swingers took care of that, and so The Right Stuff. And so that walking moment really became iconic in cinema. And so I started thinking about the other great walking scenes, and I wrote a list. I wrote a post.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Well, here we go.
Well, I just want to start off by saying that walking has been getting a bad rap for a long time. On the post that I wrote, I put the GIF up of the stormtrooper walking into the door that doesn't raise all the way. So, it's just... walking gets a bad rap. I really think it does. So this post was meant to kind of bring the luster back to walking, because the world was asking for that. Oh, and also like Clerks 2 is making fun of the walking in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, when they're that famous scene where basically Randall, yeah, it's just making fun of the Lord of the Rings movies. It's basically just describing the trilogy. They just walk to a volcano and then they walk away.
And everyone's like, one does not simply walk into Mordor, blah, 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 blah.
Describing like that is just like Boromir.
Yeah. Oh. Such a Boromir thing to say. I love the interview. Oh, man. Don't get me started on that. All right, so I started off the list I wrote that Bill Murray is the greatest cinematic walker on the planet.
Really?
A lot of people would argue John Wayne. He has that gait that a lot of people, talk about. Then there's always the Lauren Bacall. There's the actresses. But I think that Bill Murray in Groundhog Day does more types of walking than any other person in the history of the planet. He sad walks, he angry walks, he depressed walks. He has a pep to his step. He has a happy saunter. He has that one walk when he's going to punch Ted in the face. He's and like, he walks. He grabs the money from the back of the armored car. He walks in front of a truck. He walks off the building. I mean, his walking in this film is so nuanced. And every time you see Bill Murray walking, whether in Caddyshack, Lost in Translation, or Kingpin when he's sauntering all over the place with his big comb over, it is Bill Murray. So I just had to add Bill Murray as the best cinematic walker ever.
You're mentioning the ways that he walks, like with his emotions so poignantly, and I immediately thought of Scrooged and What About Bob? Like those movies just came to mind.
Yes, What About Bob walk, where he's just wrecking Richard Dreyfuss's life? Like he has this walk to him, and it's a different walk. Like his walk in Kingpin's like this smarmy, like full of himself, a lot of bravado walk. But What About Bob? He's kind of like this. I don't know. He has some issues, so he has this kind of like naive walk to him.
And in the first 20 minutes of Lost in Translation, his kind of depressed, I have money, but I'm sad walk.
Yeah.
And what about Bob when he's baby stepping onto the elevator? Baby stepping into the hall, baby stepping into the... So, I mean, he does baby steps. He does happy steps. He does saunters.
I will say that as a huge Bill Murray fan, I've noticed that he's never really in a rush to go anywhere. He's never, running. He's always walking, but he always does it in kind of a varied style, as you mentioned. He's like a walking virtuoso.
Even in Space Jam, he sort of just walks around.
Yeah.
He's playing basketball, he's just kind of sauntering. He has a little bit of a pep to his step, but even when playing intergalactic basketball, he's walking.
Well, so you brought him up, and I think that he is one of the most fun people to talk about on the list, not necessarily the best walker. But I got to say, I'm just going to put this plug out there for people who saw it and think of it. If any of you saw Chappie, I think of the D. Antwoord rapper named Ninja, and that's his character's name in the movie. When he is teaching Chappie how to walk like a true gangster, I about lost it. That was so funny, and he thought he was so seriously walking like a gangster. And you're just laughing because he's like this skinny little guy covered in tattoos in his 40s.
Was it a good walk? Was it did it have? Was he borrowing from gangster walks, or did he have his own kind of style?
He's kind of going 90s, early 2000s gangster walk, where he's holding his belt near his crotch, and he's bouncing his shoulders, and one of his shoulders is higher than the other when he's walking with a slight lean forward. That kind of little wannabe gangster walk. But this guy, he looks like he's 6 feet tall and 140 pounds. And he's not wearing a shirt in the scene. And he's this criminal in South Africa with ridiculous hair. And it's just totally not credible at all.
Wait, isn't he training this robot to kind of do crimes for him? So if he teaches this robot to walk in this exaggerated manner, that's probably drawing more attention to the walking robot.
Well, they already put a bunch of chains around Chappie in the movie anyway, so they thugged him up. They got him talking like a thug. But all right, enough Chappie. But I didn't mention that when you guys see this movie, watch The Walk.
So he taught him how to walk this way.
Pretty much, man, and talk this way.
So that actually leads me into Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is one of my favorite comedic directors. The guy churns pure gold out of anything. And in the movie Young Frankenstein, Igor he walks down some steps. He goes, "Walk like this," and he hands his cane back to Gene Wilder, and Gene Wilder walks exactly like Igor did, with this exaggerated slump, kind of like a hunchback thing. And then in Robin Hood Men in Tights, the sheriff of Rottingham does this walk like this, and then I guess he does a sachet, but then Robin Hood and all the guards follow him in this nice little sachet. And then once again, I mean, he goes deep for his Walk This Way references. And then in History of the World Part 1, when they're in Rome, there's another Walk This Way gag. So he's done it in 3 films, and they've all 3 been a little different, but you can't beat Young Frankenstein with the Walk This Way. That's my second favorite walk of all time.
So is this where that joke came from? Basically, that's seen in every cartoon?
I mean, I think Young Frankenstein was 1974.
Yeah.
So did those cartoons come before that? I mean, maybe cinematic.
I'm pretty sure those cartoons, you're thinking the Hanna-Barbera cartoons from the 50s.
Oh.
So maybe, I don't know. But either maybe cinematic like that. But the way they did it, and it comes out of nowhere. And you have, I love Young Frankenstein, and I love that Walk This Way, because I like that Gene Wilder goes with it. He doesn't have to, but it's just funny. Yeah. And so that leads us into a not funny walk, but Popeye from French Connection. Have you guys seen French Connection?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
I saw that when I was doing 70s and 80s action movie binges with my cousin and my uncle, but I haven't seen this in 20 years easy.
I mean, this movie, a lot of people talk, French Connection was directed by William Friedkin, starring Gene Hackman, Roy Scheider, and a lot of people associate it with the great car chase. However, I would say a good 45 minutes of this film is Popeye surveilling the bad guys, the drug dealers. He's on the streets. He's tail walking. A lot of people I don't think are very believable at this, but the way Gene Hackman does it, he's this big, former football player. He's just pounding the pavement, and he is just kind of playing games with this Frenchman that he's walking with, and his walking is just, I don't know, I love it. And it's just there's so much going on in these scenes because he can't get caught, he can't be seen, and it's just one of the best tailing walking scenes I've ever seen. Like, his shoe salesman must love Gene Hackman or Popeye because like he's probably there every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say to that movie. Again, I haven't seen it in 20 years. I just know I saw it. I don't even remember it. But when you say what you're saying about him tailing someone, for it to be credible, that's got to be tough because Gene Hackman, he's got to be like 6'2", 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah, at least 6 foot. Yeah.
He's not a very surreptitious, sneaky guy.
And so he kind of had to be. And like, I feel like just his presence alone would lead you off to him. And it just kind of became this walking game between them going in and out of subways. And I love it.
I was honestly just trying to remember parts of the movie. And then you're just like, yeah.
Oh, man. French Connection. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, so the next one is the incredibly fast walking of Jason Voorhees. So this guy walks so fast, you can't outrun him. That's
true.
I know we lost earlier. You know, we gave Michael Myers the Knife Award, but Jason. All right, let's say Lazarus, right? You're in the woods and you see Jason. You take off on a sprint. This is what happens: you run, you trip on a root, you bang your knee. All right. Yep. Then you stand up and you get caught in some thorns. Then you get all tangled up. Then you get out. Then you hit your head on a tree branch when you're looking back to see him. Then you get up again and you trip again. So basically,
that's why I don't go camping.
Yeah. So if Jason's walking after you, it's just in that world you're going to run into at least 16 roots.
Yeah. I mean, the forest is full of roots. So
it's not just that though. They pulled some movie production fast ones on the audience in those movies too. Like, it wasn't just that. Like, sometimes they'd be running away and Jason would just be standing there walking really slowly, and they're booking, they're covering some good ground, right? And then they trip and get up, and in 5 seconds Jason suddenly covers 100 feet. And he's just there all of a sudden, and on the other side of them. And it's like, like a jump scare. So, I mean, those movies pull that off too, which is why I have my theory that Jason can teleport, but only when you can't see him.
So is Jason a jumper?
Jason is a jumper as long as you can't see him.
So he's a secret jumper. Basically.
A secret jumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the jumpers can kind of just do their jump face, and then they're gone, like even if you're looking at them. But Jason can only jump when you're not looking at him.
But, I mean, really, he will cover some amazing ground.
So, if Jason's chasing you, should you run backwards and look at him the whole time?
Well, in theory, you should never outrun him by too much. You should outrun him at first and then just consistently keep the same distance from him while you're calling the police or something, which they didn't have in those 80s movies, those poor kids. And then when the police come, you're just like, look, bring a bazooka because it's Jason Voorhees. So your bullets won't work. We got to explode this dude.
Yeah, I always feel bad in these horror films when they call up the one cop. And then the cop, he does his best. He's there first. He's protecting and serving.
Backup is always way behind.
Yeah, and then he shows up, and this poor cop who first responded gets lit up by some killer. And it's like, oh, poor guy. And he always manages to put the woman or the guy in the back of his cop car, and then he gets killed. So then they're stuck in the back of the cop car. And then you have Jason walking up to you for, I don't know, about 60 seconds. So, hey, guys, I just want you to know if you're going to survive a Jason attack, run backwards and don't get too far from him.
Keep him in sight.
All right. Wow. So the next one is the fly guy walking of I'm Gonna Get You, Sucka. Have you got, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucka is a 1988 film that was made by Keenan Ivory Wayans. Damon Wayans is in it. And it's kind of like a spoof on Shaft, on Foxy Brown, and those kind of movies. But there's this scene where this guy, Fly Guy, he's been in prison for 20 years. He finally gets out, and he has this massive hat, big fur coat. He has platform boots on with fish in them. and
like Jonah Hill, like what Jonah Hill is going to buy.
Yeah, exactly, on a 40-year-old virgin. And when he's walking out of this place, initially people are kind of like, oh, man, look at him. But then everyone starts making fun of him. They're like, what are those fish for dinner? And then they're like, where'd you get all that outfit at Goodwill? And he starts off with this very confident walk. Actually, he starts off not so confident, then he gets really confident, and then he loses his confidence, and he smashes his platform shoe, and it busts up. The fish go flying everywhere, and he does this little one-legged hobble out of the street. So in 1 2-minute scene, you get a little bit of confidence shaken, and then a limp. And a little known fact, Marlon and Shawn Wayans had their first cameo in their first movie in this film. They were trailing him, laughing at him the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
when you just said all that, and it's the Fly Guy, and then you talk about the transformation of his walk, I thought of the transformation of Jeff Goldblum's walk in The Fly. As he slowly transformed and he started like hobbling and he had the weird stumpy pads on his feet, and then he turns into the monster. And like, I really just thought of that as you were talking.
Man, I forgot. I didn't leave that out. Transformation walking.
Well, now we have it. Now we have it.
Oh.
It came out organically.
Ooh, transformation walking.
I have a question about this guy's platform shoes, actually.
Yeah.
Did he actually feed those fish every day?
That's what I'm wondering. And I was wondering, was he in prison with those shoes?
Like who fed the fish if he was in prison? That's
and those
know.
fish are old then.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't leave them behind. Those fish are like 20 years old.
So what he did was he willed them to his white grandniece, who was Catherine Keener in 40-Year-Old Virgin. And she later got her eBay store, and they had transferred the goldfish into alcohol from water, and that's why there were those 2 dead goldfish in the boots that Jonah Hill wanted to buy in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yes.
Man.
And Kurt Russell is her uncle.
YES. I love this, man. I love Jason and Leo, and now we got Catherine Keener somehow related to Fly Guy.
And Kurt Russell.
So you brought up Jeff Goldblum in his transformation walking, and that leads us to the next one, which is Jeff Goldblum's walking in the end credits of Buckaroo Banzai and Life Aquatic. Now, Buckaroo Banzai and Life Aquatic, I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. I have you guys in my office. It's all Wes Anderson art. I've watched all his movies. Royal Tenenbaums is my favorite Wes Anderson film, but Life Aquatic is the one I've watched the most. And at the end of that film, in the credit sequence, it's the entire cast walking together to go to the boat. And in the end of Buckaroo Banzai, Jeff Goldblum's dressed up as a cowboy, walking with the entire Banzai crew, and they're just walking through, I don't know. So it's just, in the end credits, there's 2 scenes of the entire cast walking through the streets looking cool. Like, it's just everyone cool walking. But Jeff Goldblum is the coolest out of all these people. And he upstages Bill Murray in Life Aquatic because Bill Murray has a kid on his shoulders and he can't quite get that saunter going. So that's why I give this to Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum for the win. When you first said that, by the way, I thought that you said Buckaroo Banzai and the Life Aquatic like it was one movie. And both of those movies were so crazy, I'd love to see a mashup of them.
I hate that Buckaroo Banzai is not more widely appreciated. I love that movie. I think it's just cool incarnate, and I love like what are their names? John Big Berry? Big Bottom. I don't know, but the bunch of aliens. I don't know, whatever. So so Jeff Goldblum, he gets 2 movies in this. So my next one, they're the walk-off exits of The Searchers and The Third Man. Now, The Searchers is one of my favorite westerns of all time, and the final shot is John Wayne. They frame him in a door frame. He's centered. Think a Wes Anderson film where he's perfectly centered, and he turns around and just walks. And after the entire film, it's one of the most moving, sad, depressing walks, and it's one of the best John Wayne performances, and he puts it all into his walk. Like, look at this walk. He does a little legs. When you go to the blog, when he turns around, he does a little leg swing. He has a couple little hand gestures of moving around. It's just the walk of a beaten old man.
You could tell he's walked before.
Yeah. I mean, this is not his first time sad walking.
And when I say walk, I don't mean like regular walking. I mean like a John Wayne walk. You know, it's something distinct about John Wayne's walk. Like
that walk, like you've been kicked in the nuts so many times that it has permanently altered your hip insertion.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's John Wayne's greatest contribution to cinema. It's just his walk. Really.
Yeah. I mean, like, you see, if you look at any photo of John Wayne, it's just so iconic, his walk. And if I left this out of this list, I think people would have been pretty annoyed. And then my next walk-off exit is from the movie The Third Man. Orson Welles is in it. It's a great film. But there's a scene, it's at the final credits, this guy parks his car, right? And he parks his car at about 45 seconds. The next 1 minute and 15 seconds, the camera is just perfectly centered on a woman walking up the street. Now he's waiting for her to talk to him to see if they'll talk, but instead she just walks right past him and out of frame. So it's 1 minute and 15 seconds of walking. You just watch her walk for 1 minute and 15 seconds, and she just blows right by him. Like, just gives him like the cold shoulder times 10. And you don't see that in today's cinema. You'll never see a 1 minute and 15 second static camera shot. So that's why I love the third man. So if you guys want to watch all these videos, once again, they're on the website. Just type in the walking, just type in walking in search, and you'll find it.
Yeah, a lot of great gifs.
Yeah, a lot of great gifts. The next one is the walking and talking of the Before trilogy. So if you've seen Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, they walk through different countries. It's walking, not as only walking, but they're really waxing poetic. So I think it takes a lot of mental power to avoid rocks and bumps in the road and still talk about Socrates.
And a lot of eye contact at that as well.
Yeah, and they're like, when you watch those movies where people are driving and they're staring at the person for a really long time, and you're like, they would crash the car. These guys pull off, oh gosh, sounds ridiculous, but they pull off walking and looking at each other, and none of them fall into a pothole. There's no manhole cover that's open, and they disappear.
Just wander into traffic.
I mean, it's really good walking.
Well, I think I see Ethan Hawke like fall into a ditch, and he still maintains eye contact and just continue the conversation.
It's quicksand, and he's just sinking deeper and deeper.
And he's still maintaining eye contact.
He's so into his conversation about Nietzsche that he goes all the way in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, quicksand can't stop you if you just dive deep in the conversation.
He's like, hey, wait, are you going up a hill?
No.
He doesn't realize he's sinking. All right, so the next one is the Catwomen of the Batman world. I added this because there's a famous quote that said, Ginger Rogers did everything that Fred Astaire did, except backwards and in high heels. Well, the women playing Catwoman did everything Batman did, except in skin-tight leather outfits and high heels. So, Batman's covered up. He does this little saunter. But all the Batwomen, they got to be in skin-tight leather. They got to appease the fanboys by doing like a nice little sachet. Whenever they're walking, you feel like you should hear like a boom, 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 boom. and I don't know. And I was looking at Anne Hathaway from The Dark Knight Rises, and it's like her confident. She really put a lot of she's like a woman in this role. It's not like it's not Catgirl. It's Catwoman. Like she owns it, and it's just like a real confident walk.
Now, is Halle Berry also included into this?
I like Halle Berry, but I really want to disqualify her. She has the walk, but her walk gets a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh gosh.
You said Catwoman.
Well, but then I got the original, Julie Newmar. I'll add them. But you know what? I'll add her in there because there is a couple shots of her just walking, and she owned up to that. And she probably had to put a lot of work in. So, she gets in that. But I don't know. I just liked how they owned the roles. They had to appease the fanboys, but they still kind of pulled it off without just being a one-dimensional person. So now the best one here is the opening. This is probably my favorite of the bunch, but it's the opening credit walking of Shaft, and it's 5 minutes of Shaft walking. He's playing Frogger through traffic, like he almost catches a thief. He helps out a guy selling newspapers. It's really cold, and it probably took a really long time to film, so it's just commitment walking. Like, he probably covered 20 miles in these scenes.
And he was jaywalking the whole time.
And I defy you to watch an opening credit walking scene that you're not, like, tapping your hands and really into it because of the music. So between the music and his commitment to be cold and cold acting, you just got to give it to the opening credits of Shaft. They just don't do it like they used to.
Well, and only a guy who walks that cool could make someone as awesome as Christian Bale look like a wuss.
Now, how
he was the bad guy.
I want to ask you real quick.
I'm talking the original.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
The original.
I wanted to ask you, how does Samuel Jackson's Shaft walk compare to the original?
Okay.
He just owned it.
Yeah.
Like he got it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how does Samuel Jackson's Shaft walk compared to the original?
He does his own thing, so that's cool. He doesn't try to mimic it, but it's just not going to match up.
No, it doesn't.
He would have to pull like a super limp. Like, he'd have to put a real gimmick to his walk to match. Like, he'd have to walk around in fish platform boots to match Richard Roundtree.
Shaft was the only person that could probably pull off the fish platform boots.
Yeah, and I think no one would want to say anything to him. Yeah, I think he could pull it off with a grace.
Because you put those fish up your butt if you said something to them. Like, oh.
Wait, he would put the fish up your butt? Is that what you said?
Yeah, get it? Because the fish are in his boots, and then he would
oh yeah,
his,
gosh.
Okay. Hey-o.
Hey-o. So, all right. So, I guess Fish. This is a good segue, but Captain Jack Sparrow. He fought for this role. He was like Keith Richards, mixed up with Errol Flynn, mixed up with Johnny Depp on Quaaludes. And this walk in the first Pirates of the Caribbean was amazing. It was iconic walk.
No, I think he pulled it off perfectly because Jack Sparrow is unhinged. Is basically the best way to describe it. And like the walk, it was weird. Like it was a weird walk, but it was also very charming at the same time. It perfectly encapsulates the character just by watching him walk.
And like I just love that he had to fight for it. He had to fight for his gold teeth and his walking, and I don't know. I just love all that. So I guess we'll move, check out the website for the rest of these, but I'll just throw in the honorable mentions. We had Nosferatu from the original film, one of the most iconic creepy walks of all time. Then you got Scarface walking with his machine gun, Leatherface, and his just Andre the Giant type chainsaw walking. And then Phoebe Cates from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That should be number one.
Phoebe Cates?
Yeah.
And then Bud from Day of the Dead. I mean, zombie walking. He not only had to do a zombie walk, but he had to do a smart zombie walk. So that's why Bud makes the list.
All right, Mark. Thanks for basically just giving us that awesome list. I guess all this talk of walking has really gotten me tired. Actually, I think now is a good time to take a break. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Hey guys, it's Mark, and we got a great offer for you from Audible. And so for you, the listeners of Movies, Films, and Flicks, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Now, if you do this, I have a wonderful book to recommend to you. Craig Ferguson was the host of The Late Late Show. He was on Drew Carey. He's this hilarious Scottish dude that moved to America, became sober, and he was a former punk drummer, and he reads his book. It's called American on Purpose, and it's him reading it. It's a great listen. It's personable. If you love this show, you'll love this book. I drew a lot of inspiration from it. I loved listening to every second of it. So if you do get on Audible and you do our free trial, make sure to download the Craig Ferguson book, American on Purpose. Now, to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/shark. Again, that's audibletrial.com/shark for your free audiobook.
Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I'm not going to lie. My legs are still kind of tired from all that talking about walking, guys. I don't know about you.
My stomach is full of all that hamming it up you're doing with that joke.
Hey-o! I guess now's a good time for another listener question. What about Living Good?
Great. Well, another Twitter follower, hopefully a loyal listener, is The Gray, or at The Dark Hours. At The Dark Hours asks, where exactly is Crystal Lake? Now, I think this is kind of an interesting question because this one arguably has a right answer. And I did a little research, but first let's open the floor. Do you guys have any theories as to where Crystal Lake is, where Jason was killing all those campers?
I imagine it's in the same state as Springfield isn't?
Isn't that Illinois where Halloween took place?
Well, I don't know. Springfield as in from The Simpsons.
Oh.
And no one knows where Springfield is, I guess.
I want to say Washington State.
Washington State.
I just kind of see it. The lake, kind of crystal clear, Camp Crystal Lake. Or maybe in New Mexico with all the crystal meth.
You know, it's interesting you say Washington State because I feel like the reboot of Friday the 13th, I feel like they were in the woods with a lot of moss. And, like, you know, everything was covered in moss, just like an AVP Requiem, like, Pacific Northwest looking. But the other ones, like, I don't think the older ones had that.
Yeah, they were kind of just camps. Like, it was like a boss, I don't even know the feel that it had. North Carolina?
All right, so we can at least disqualify some places, right? Like, Nevada is probably out.
Probably out. Probably not Nevada.
Cambodia?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Cambodia gets pretty woodsy in some areas. So we'll just,
but does it get mossy?
Okay, well, this question actually spurred its own discussion on Twitter. And Isaac's Haunted Beard, or at Isaac's Haunted Bee, and Infliction Film both agreed that it's in Blairstown, New Jersey. Now, I got a little curious, so I went online. I found a Friday the 13th wiki page.
Obviously.
And it turns out that this was the movie was filmed in Blairstown, New Jersey, in Warren County, North New Jersey, and and they actually show some pictures on the website if you search around of like tourists in Blairstown, and then one scene from the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very New Jersey thing to say.
That's such a New Jersey thing to say.
Levingood, you're a Jersey
I think
guy.
Boromir was from New Jersey.
That's such a Boromir thing to say. And the camp, by the way, Camp Crystal Lake, it makes me think of the real camp. What it is, it makes me think of when Wednesday Addams and Pugsley went to camp, and Addams Family Values, like it has like a Native American name. So the real Camp Crystal Lake is called, or was called, Camp Nobi Bosco.
Nobi Bosco. I don't know.
Bosco.
That sounds kind of Cambodian to me.
Yeah.
Right?
You sure it's not Vietnamese? I don't know. It's not up on my Cambodian or my Vietnamese.
They're pretty close. I don't know. It might be in that area.
So they said it was New Jersey. I just don't see it taking place in New Jersey.
Well, that's where it was actually filmed. Was in Blairstown, New Jersey.
Levingood,
you're
a Jersey guy. What are your feelings as a Jersey guy on this?
Oh, sure. Legitimately, it looks like it could be New Jersey. And the other thing is that it's in the northern quarter of the state on the western border. So it's kind of like it's just starting to cusp in near the Pine Barrens. I'm not saying Warren County is the Pine Barrens, but you're getting in that neighborhood. You're not near the big cities. You're over an hour away from New York City. So very legitimately, I buy it. But of course, that's where it was actually filmed. That's the actual site.
Boromir.
Right before. Whatever. I don't know, Legolas, you sleek savoir-faire SOB.
I'll take some Legolas. Sounds good to me. That dude wiped out, elephants, and that dude was a big-time butt kicker.
Hey.
Well, thank you, Gray at the Dark Hours, for that question, and Isaac's Haunted Beard and Infliction Film for contributing.
Speaking of...
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah, speaking of butt kickers, Mark, you actually have an article on the website about Oscar winners, but not just Oscar winners, random Oscar winners, right?
Yeah, I mean, the world has enough of the real Oscars, and everyone's debating it's come and gone, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
this movie won, that movie didn't.
The Oscars are really kind of boring at this point, like Best Picture, Best Actor. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, who needs that?
Yeah.
It's all a bunch of politics. I mean, of course, I'm joking. I love the Oscars, and I like betting in the pools and everything. But what I did was... enough credit went to those movies that were nominated. I mean, people do not want to hear Birdman anymore. They want to hear about the movies that were left out of the talk. I think a lot of times the snubs are the popular discussion after the Oscars, before and after. So on the website, I put together a random Oscars where our readers could vote. This was entirely up to our readers, and that's why I feel like we owe it to them to kind of let them know who won, sum up everything. So the first one that we had was Best Butt Kicker. And that came down to Rita Vertasky from Edge of Tomorrow, John Wick, David from The Guest, Artemisia from 300, Rama from The Raid 2, and Curtis from Snowpiercer. And the big winner was John Wick. He wiped everybody off the face of the planet. So I wish it was Rama, man, but John Wick has the charisma. Yeah, I mean, Rama was outnumbered a lot. But he didn't have like the cool gung fu like. Keanu in this film killed 76 people via close combat gun work. He's just, maybe if you put Rama in a suit in Raid 2, he'd be tearing it up. But I think everyone was just happy that Keanu was back. I mean, I never thought he left because I think I'm a big Keanu fan. But this movie was legit badass. It was a good story, good revenge tale, and people just really, our readers at least, love John Wick.
Do you guys remember that scene when he was just shooting like all the bad guys in the club? He was about to shoot this one guy, but he was out of ammo. And basically, he had just, like, punched a guy or something, so, like, the guy was just standing there all days. And Keanu just, like, kind of slowly just takes his time, just reloads his gun. And then, like, once he gets his clip loaded, he just, like, unloads, like, into the dude's head. Like, it just does it so coolly. I'm like, oh, man. You got to get your second win. That's all. I need to watch that movie again. I recently watched... speaking of that, in the beginning of the club scene, he goes up to Kevin Nash, who was in that great fight scene in The Punisher as the Russian. And he walks up, he gets up behind Kevin Nash, and Kevin Nash is like, "Are you back?" And John Wick's like, "Yeah." And then Kevin Nash is like, "All right, peace." Like, he's this massive dude, 7-footer, and he walks away from Keanu Reeves. So I got to hand it to you for picking this movie because, and I didn't think of it until you mentioned Rama from the Raid 2, but
what movie that isn't specifically a martial arts movie and that's American made with a, well, pretty much white star, like, what movie has that many close quarter kills that's ever been made that's an American release? Like, this movie really stands out for that, doesn't it?
When you think about, like, right? Gung Fu, you know, when you think about Gung Fu, you try to think about John Woo and Hard Boiled and a lot of those films.
Oh, The Protector with Tony Jaa, right?
I mean, I mean, but you're right. I don't know of many American action films that had so much close combat butt kicking.
And such a body count, too. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, great pick. Great pick.
Guys, I want to see us. Let's say they don't make a sequel. So they make a sequel to John Wick. It does well. They do a trilogy. I want them to do a fourth one that goes direct to DVD, and it has Chris Klein in it as his character Nash from the Street Fighter films.
When I think of that couple, I think of awesome things I want to do with my girlfriend, or, you know, the woman in your life kind of thing. Well, not the whole thing with getting her to get in a kissing threesome at a party with a bunch of college girls, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but other than that, like, they were a team, and I love that. Like, you know, my wife and I were a team, and we just bought a house. So it was fun watching this movie of this couple buying a house and going through this stuff together. I dug it. So the funniest moment of the year is, which I don't know. My favorite was from the interview where Seth Rogen loses his fingers. That's the funniest moment of that. But the one that was voted, and I love our readers, they said Channing Tatum goes wild in 22 Jump Street when Tatum found out that Jonah Hill slept with Ice Cube's daughter. And Ice Cube has his Ice Cube office, and Channing Tatum was just running around, just going bananas, just slamming on it, cheering, picking people up, high-fiving people. And the whole time Ice Cube is doing his Ice Cube scowl. I love that moment.
I can't disagree with that. It was just hilarious.
You mentioned funny moment. Was it in Tusk when Justin Long was first going to go, like, find this kid to interview? Didn't that kid accidentally cut off his own leg in a YouTube video? Wasn't that movie?
Yeah, he had a samurai sword, and it was like the Jedi kid, but instead it was like a samurai sword, and the kid hacked his leg off.
That was a gloriously funny scene. Like, that was a really funny moment.
I love Kevin Smith, man, and we'll do it eventually. But I've been writing about Mallrats because it's a 20-year anniversary, and we've grown up with Kevin Smith, and so I just love, you know, even when he does a movie about Tusk, I like that it's original. And actually, that's coming up, but he lost. The next category we have was best uses of fish, and Tusk lost, but How to Train Your Dragon 2 won, which, you know, it didn't win the best animated Oscar, but it won the best usage of fish because Toothless is adorable, and watching a cute, like, kitten dragon eat fish is probably the greatest thing in the history of the world.
I got to put my money on your runner-up, to be honest.
Oh, Snowpiercer? Yeah, the long game, the fish long game in Snowpiercer. Now, we've gone into this in the past, so, you know, basically the fish, there's a big fight scene, and right before the fight scene starts, this henchman sticks his axe into the fish, and then later on, Chris Evans slips on the fish, and it's like this big, weird, hilarious sequence. But I got to go with dragons eating fish. It's just adorable.
It's like Old Boy meets a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Like, with the zaniness of it, the theatrics.
The thing I love about that Snowpiercer scene is just the look on Chris Evans' face, and like the rest of his guys, like, what the hell is going on here? It's like the same look that's going through the audience's face right now. I'm like, what?
By the way, I believe this is the third consecutive podcast where the three of us were here, and and this exact scene came up. This exact scene. Like, this is such a scene.
Well, it's layered on so many different levels. There's so much to talk about and analyze about it. That's why I love Snowpiercer. I don't know. There's a blowback coming against it now. People are like, oh, it's not that good, but I love it. Now, the next one is who won 2014, and that was Chris Pratt, and he was from Guardians of the Galaxy and Lego Movie, two of the highest-grossing films of the year. Everything is awesome. I mean, if you think about Guardians of the Galaxy, he pulled off a Jackson Pollock blacklight sperm joke, and everyone loved it. Like, the guy went from Parks and Rec to being a legit action hero to being a really cool everyday guy who saves a day, and you know he was good. But then the runner-up was ScarJo. But I think Scarlett Johansson should have won it for Lucy, Captain America, and Under the Skin. I just thought we have a new female badass superhero that became a big blob of goo. But I don't know. I was voting for her, but I think Chris Pratt was wonderful in those movies.
Chris Pratt has a good chance to win 2015. Actually, he's
yeah. I got swept away just hearing about what he's gonna do, John. Yeah, like next year. What are the 2 franchises he's jumping into?
Jurassic World,
and I guess the rumor.
Indiana Jones is rumored, right?
It's just rumored. I don't. Nothing's concrete yet, but yeah.
I got issues with that new Jurassic Park movie. It's like they have the R&D lab on the same island as where all the park goers are. And they're messing with, like, I hate movies where bad things happen because of idiots doing stupid things, and they're like combining dinosaur genes. And then there's that giant whale creature dinosaur that's like 10 stories high, that's jumping like and catching sharks. Like, what if that shark goes off target and lands on the stands?
I just like how that's like not so subtle reference to Jaws and Steven Spielberg. I'm like, yeah, we get it.
But like, I don't know. It's not. I don't like it. Like, what if that shark goes a little haywire? He's taken out 1,000 people. And how deep is that tank? Yeah, because there's like all the shark jumped straight up. Like, what if like the guy Hank messes up the lever and the shark is facing the audience and he just jumps out and levels everybody?
Oh, the dino shark thing.
Yeah. And like, how deep is that tank? It's probably like a mile deep for him to get that much like jumping power.
Well, I mean, that's the risk you take with Hank. You know, he puts in good work, but every now and then he, just isn't paying attention.
He's going to let you down, and he's going to let down those fans one day, and we're going to have a big death situation on that park.
You give and you take with Hank. That's just how it is.
I bet you he's like the park's founder's brother.
Yeah. I mean, you like the guy. You like to have a beer with him, but you just don't like to work with him all the time.
Yeah, you like hanging out with him, but you don't trust his integrity when building aquatic structures.
Yeah, no. He's not the first person that comes to mind.
Now, when it comes to Jurassic Park, I just want to. So when it comes to Jurassic Park, I gotta say, I think that I'm the goldfish with the fish food. Like, I think that I want to see Chris Pratt doing everything that he can until he can't anymore. But like until he fails and it blows up in my face, like I want to see him in everything. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's good. I just hope we don't get like people are complaining about Cumberbatch now, and back in the day he was the hot stuff. So I hope people don't turn against Pratt just because he's been doing too much good work.
He's got that goofy everyman charm, so I think that'll last him a while.
True. I don't think he's going to do any Oscar bait movies. He's going to be on the random awards for years to come.
Oh yeah, forever.
So, yeah. And so the next one is Best Driving, and that goes to James Franco from The Interview. He just
the blossoming friendship drive.
He listens to Katy Perry. He blows up a helicopter. Katy Perry helps him concentrate. Like he saves the day. I love it. It's the best driving. And then the runner-up was Sam Jackson in Captain America 2 in that SUV of doom that he's in. That can withstand an entire army.
Somehow he keeps the AC going the whole time while being shot at by a million people.
I gotta say that scene, like I kept thinking like 4 different times that scene was over, and it would keep going credibly and actually get more exciting.
Yeah, that window integrity was really, So the next one is the biggest a-hole award, and one of them was the cameo from Interstellar. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the guy with the hair from Need for Speed. Now, people hate Need for Speed. I love it. I think it's a movie called Need for Speed, and it's fast, and it has a Need for Speed. But the guy with the hair in the movie is such a jerk. Like, he's not evil. Like, he has too much hair gel. He steals cars. He frames people. He gets people killed. Then he frames them. He dates people's sisters. He's just like the worst jerky dude on the planet. And he gets away with a lot of things. And I don't know. I like when the little guys win. The guy from Interstellar, he's won enough awards. But I like the guy with the hair from Need for Speed.
Boy, this award, like, I was just overwhelmed with ideas of biggest a-hole. Like, I thought of Kiefer Sutherland from Pompeii. I thought of J.K. Simmons and his amazing performance from Whiplash. Mm-hmm. I thought of The Mirror from Oculus. And then the one that probably no one saw is Cabin Fever Patient Zero. That's the third Cabin Fever movie, is Sean Astin. And if you see that movie, you'll know why he is the ultimate biggest a-hole for one action.
How much hair gel does he use?
Yeah.
He's not. He's a prisoner in the movie. He's a prisoner in a medical facility.
Yeah, so you need the hair gel. Like, that just pulls off the a-hole.
I'm looking at the picture of this a-hole, and he's got that kind of Justin Bieber kind of hairstyle. I think it's the shades that he's wearing. That just really ties it all together.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a full-on,
the a-hole.
And then, So then the next one is the best accessory, and that goes to the Walkman from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a great pick. Pick.
You can't go against it. It makes the great music. But however, I think the runner-up should have won, which is Chris Pine's Pompadour in Into the Woods. I mean, it has depth, it has height, it has curve, it has. I mean, it while he's singing, it holds tight. It's just a great accessory to have on a pompous prince. A pompous pompadour on a pretentious prince. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I gotta stick with the Walkman. It's just I never had the cassette tape Walkman, but I had the CD Walkman, and that just basically carried me through high school. So I just, for nostalgia reasons, I gotta go with the Walkman. The Walkman.
And the last one is The Best Hotel, and it's not the runner-up Grand Budapest Hotel. It is the John Wick's Assassin Hotel, and I love it because it creates a new world. You have these gold coins. You got to be peaceful in there. You can't break the rules. You break the rules, you die. You can drink, like, they bring up bourbon in your room. They brought up Blanton's bourbon. I love bourbon, and they got some Blanton's. Like, I want to be in a hotel where I get shot, and the guy's like, "Hey, you want some bourbon?" I'm like, yeah, I want some bourbon. Like, all right. Yes, bring, and like, and then they bring the bourbon up, and it's Blanton's. That's a wonderful bottle. Yeah. So, like, not only, like, he could have brought me up some Old Crow or something like that, but instead they brought up the Blanton's bourbon. I think it's a great. I love this hotel. I want this hotel.
Well, now I want to see Wes Anderson direct John Wick's Assassin Hotel. I feel like Keanu would fit right in the Wes Anderson movie, right?
Oh, in like the Zen mode, put Owen Wilson as there as a assassin.
Yeah,
you got Angelica Houston. She's kind of like the CEO of the place. Oh man, Jeff Goldblum could just be walking around awesomely because he's been in a bunch of them.
Bill Murray could be the mob leader Keanu's trying to kill.
He's the owner who has no idea how to run the hotel.
And then like his main nemesis are Adrian Brody and Willem Dafoe. Like they're there to kill him.
Does Adrian Brody talk like he did in Predators?
Does he talk like this the whole time?
No, he doesn't. This is a Wes Anderson film. He would never allow that. And then Kate Blanchett is in there just being awesome like Kate Blanchett does. And I want this movie to happen.
I know. All right. I think we're at the end of Mark's random movie awards, random Oscars. I think I prefer the random Oscars over the regular Oscars. What do you guys think?
I mean, don't you think?
And the hosts are better too.
Don't you think they should? Wait. Oh, did you tape my song and dance before we started this?
I knew I forgot to do something.
Wait, I did it, guys. I did a 10-minute song and dance for this, and I guess.
Okay, well, before you do that, I think we'll just record like a quick outro, and then I promise we'll record that part. But before we say goodbye and go to Mark's song and dance, do we have any plugs, guys, that we want to,
Yes, stop by the website. Go to www.moviesfilmsandflix. So MOVIES. FILMSANDFLIX.com. That's a Flix, FLIX.com. Check out our site. Also, guys, if you like our pod, please go on iTunes, type in Shark Dropper or Movies, Films, and Flicks. Give us a rating, give us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback. Please.
Yeah. Also, check out the podcast is also on sharkdropper.com. Sharkdropper.com is also the home of many other fine podcasts available from Shark Dropper Studios. Also, check out our Patreon page. Actually, we just got that up and running. So, yeah, give that a look. Am I forgetting something else? I don't know. Guys, am I forgetting anything?
I'd just like to throw out a thank you to our listeners who provided questions at Wasted the Show, at Demon Scribblers, and at The Dark Hours, and at Isaac's Haunted Beard, all from Twitter. They gave us some nice material, and we appreciate them.
Right, and keep them coming, guys. We love answering questions. Like always.
Give us your weirdest ones, folks. Find us on Twitter or Facebook and give us your most zany questions. We want them.
And you know that we love to answer them because we end up somehow about talking Michael Myers with a ShamWow cleaning his knife and sucking up an entire pool's worth of water.
General rule of thumb is the weirder the question, the weirder the answer will be. Like, we'll try to out-weird you. So.
Yeah, we'll try to out-weird you. Speaking of out-weirding, I find it weird that in the whole discussion about Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees selling knives, at no point did either Chris Evans from Snowpiercer or Kurt Russell come into the conversation. How weird is that?
Listen, Kurt Russell doesn't need to sell knives. He just... All right. Come on.
Kurt Russell is the spirit animal of this podcast.
Well, he does throw knives really well. Kurt Russell does. Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we started with Kurt Russell, and now we're ending with Kurt Russell. I guess that does it for another episode of Movies, Films, and Flicks. I've been your host, John Loswa, for my co-host, Mark Hoffmeyer.
Bye.
And John Lemongood.
And Kurt Russell, we trust.
Yes. We'll see you guys next time. Mark, do you want to start your song and dance now?
This is the Oscars. This is the show. Who's going to win tonight? I don't know. We're going to get all the awards. We're going to sing, sing, sing. We're going to make jabs at the Academy. We're going to do little skits and do little things. We're going to try to act humble, but we know we're millionaires. I'm going to hand you a gold statue. You're going to give me a nice speech. Some people read with notes. Some people don't.
I'm guessing you didn't read from notes for that.
No.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Hey, I'm not backing down from anything, guys. I'll sing all day.
All right. Cool.
Target. T-minus 5 seconds till shark drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the shark! Go! 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 This podcast is a Shark Dropper Studios production.